Hello, everyone. Welcome to Jolene's Happy Time Craftcast. I'm Joleen, and I'm very excited to welcome you to today's episode of the Happy Time Craftcast. I hope you've all been well and wonderful since I saw you last. The summer feels weird, doesn't it? Like, I feel like it's been a very long time since we've all been together. So, thank you for being here again today. If you are listening on iTunes or in your car, or if you are joining me live, make sure you say hello in the comments so I know that you are there. Today's episode is going to be a special one, as they all are. But today, our guest is joining us from Seville, Spain. And her name is Cristina Arcenegui. And she is an award-winning quilter. She has such an interesting perspective on what we call whimsical. And she was inspired to get started by a fan favorite. How many of you are familiar with How to Make an American Quilt? I know for me, it was pretty formative. And I think a lot about that movie because, my mom is a quilter and her mom before her. So I've got lots of questions for Cristina, and I know you will join me in welcoming Cristina to the Happy Time Craftcast. Hello, Cristina.
Hello, Jolene.
Hello from
Thank you very
Spain.
much.
You're welcome so much. You're welcome. So you told me as we were chatting before the show that it is boiling where you are. Can you help us understand what you mean by boiling exactly?
Well, at the moment it's 1900. Sorry, it's 7 o'clock, 7 p.m.
7
and at
p.m.
and at the moment we have, I think, 105 or 108 degrees Fahrenheit.
No, 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 no
No,
bueno. No.
no,
Well, thank
believe me.
you. Thank you for being with us in spite of that. I appreciate it so much. So, it is easy to put our eyes on the piece that is behind you. Can you tell us a little bit about that quilt?
All right, this is a kit that I bought from Moja Fabrics,
Oh,
and
nice.
well, let me tell you something. All right,
Yes.
I've had a long arm quilting business since
Okay.
2005, and you know what, people people send long arm quilters, quilt
Oh,
tops to be quilted, and I've always
yes.
said, okay, what's wrong, okay, about sending
Mm-hmm.
a pattern or a kit to a
Mm-hmm.
piecer to be to be pieced,
Yep.
so me as a long arm quilter, I can have time
Yes.
to really quilt that. So a friend of mine did the piecing for me, and
Okay.
so I bought the kit. I commissioned her to make the piecing for me, and I
Yep.
quilted that out. Why? Because
Nice.
I love solid fabrics, because the thing about solid fabrics is that the machine quilting stands so much that these are
Yeah.
my favorite fabrics, really.
Ag-
So,
Agreed. Agreed. So, just in case some folks aren't experienced with the language, can you just describe a little bit about what it means to be a long arm quilter? What does that mean?
all right. A long arm quilting machine is a stand up quilting machine, and the good thing about that is that you can load big quilt tops to be
Yes.
quilted. So if you are planning to quilt for business, okay, the best
Hmm.
thing you can do is to buy a long arm quilting machine, where instead of quilting sitting with a
Yes.
domestic sewing machine, what you do
Yes.
is that you move the
She's
machine.
standing.
That's
Yes.
right. So you move the machine, and you have a big space to
Yep.
see what you are doing.
Right. So
So
I've mentioned a lot on the show that my mom is a quilter, and my mom takes hers to a long arm quilting professional to be quilted. And I know that at times she has waited a year to get her quilt back because there are more folks quilting than quilt finishing, correct?
that's right. That's
Yes.
right.
So
Yes.
kind of a sweet business, right? Like you got some supply and demand, right?
Yes. Well, this is the thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes people say, "Can you do it?" Let's say it's Christmas rush,
Right.
and
Right.
I need this desperately, and I say,
Yes.
"Listen, these things take time.
Oh, I
This is
can't
not
imagine.
something that you can do quickly." I'm
Right.
sorry. I wish, I, I wish
Right.
I could quilt like, I don't know, like 100 quilts, but
Right.
I cannot.
Right.
We have two machines. My husband and I work full time, so he has his machine and I have my machine,
That's
and
amazing.
he doesn't want me to touch his machine.
Right.
No
I get
way.
that. I get that. I'm not allowed in Darren's half of our workshop. Like I totally get that. So, so do you have like are the people who come to you like the people that my mom, like they have to wait, like you've got a backlog.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, we have two types of services. Um, Block by block or custom quilting like this,
Yes. Yep.
what I did, something different for
Right.
each block,
Right.
and pantograph. Pantograph quilting is an overall design.
Ah,
So as far as pantograph quilting is concerned, we have a 4 weeks wait.
that's not bad.
That's quite quick, but
Yeah.
as far as custom quilting, it usually takes between 4 and 6 months,
Now
because
that makes sense. That's what I'm used to hearing.
because things things need
Takes
time.
time. Right, right. So, can you tell me a little bit about what it was about How to Make an American Quilt that like resonated with you? Like, what was it about Winona Ryder in that movie that stuck with you?
Well, I was living in London at that time, and I loved London, but you can feel very lonely in a city like that,
Sure.
because of the long distances and all that. So when I watched that movie, I thought, well, I want to do this. I would like to have a group of friends that
Hmm.
get together every week and to
Right.
work in a project.
I want
Uh,
to do that. I want to do that now. Like, I love that idea. I mean,
so that
I do that like online with my wonderful, friends and followers, but it would be so cool to be in the same room at the same time. I totally forgot
Yes,
about that part of the movie. But yeah, okay, go
yes.
ahead.
So that sense of that group of women that have been
Hmm.
um, gathering together, working,
Hmm.
as I said, in the same project, and
Hmm.
talking about all their stories and
Hmm.
all the things that they have lived together. They have
Right.
a they have a history. They have a story, and
Hmm.
and they are different, but at the same time they that sense of belonging, that
Yeah.
sense of community. I loved it. I
I,
loved
I
it.
I'm gonna have to watch it again now that you've said that. But you know what this has reminded me of, and I haven't thought about this in a very long time, is my husband and I grew up together. We met on the first day of kindergarten, and we went to school, the whole way through until we graduated from high school. We went our separate ways, and then there's a lot of other stuff that happened before we before we got together 12 years ago. But we both remember in first grade, we did a quilt unit. And in between, like the pod of classes, they had a quilt on a quilt rack, I guess it was. Like it was like a wood form, right? Like a
Yes.
bracing unit of some kind. And our job was to poke yarn on a big darning needle through the quilt, bring it back up, and make a knot. So we were
I
tying off
see.
this quilt. But we did that in first grade, and we did it together. And we both remember like that experience. Oh, hello. If you're listening on iTunes, a really awesome cat just walked by. Christina, that was awesome. Like, don't even worry about it. I love that happened. But anyway, so Darren, there we go again. So Darren and I like both have this memory around a quilting experience. And I don't know if they still do that in schools, but like what you're saying about gathering and coming together and like the community part of it, that is really profound. And I think you're absolutely right. I think,
Yes.
don't you think now, like it is more of a solitary individual art form? Like, are people getting together and doing it as much? I guess I don't know that
Uh,
much about the
no, no.
community.
As far as patchwork is concerned, although, especially from the since the
Mhm.
pandemic, people are now use more and more Zoom.
Yeah.
Uh, People still want to get together,
Yeah.
and so, for instance, Spain. In
Mhm.
Spain, there are lots of meetings
Yeah.
where groups of an area get together, like 100 quilters, for a day,
Yeah.
sewing a small project,
That's
and
awesome.
they want all they want is to be with people who speak
Yeah.
the same
Who
language,
get it? Who get it, right?
and who don't tell and don't feel like, are you out of your mind?
Right. Like right. It all makes sense. Like it meets the norms and like it makes perfect sense to the people that are there. Absolutely. So, can you tell me a little bit about then? Like you use the words, and maybe you can show us from what you have like sitting on your table there. And for those of you listening, I'll do my best to describe it. But like you talk a little bit about whimsical quilting. And can you share? Because, like, your quilts that I've seen, I would call whimsical. And I almost find it amazing that that can be a quilt. Like I didn't know that. And I mean, again, I'm raised by a quilter, so like my mom makes like amazing geometrics and log cabins and like yeah, like the one that's behind you. But like you've got some storytelling in yours. So please, what does this whimsical quilting mean to you?
All right. I have like several styles of whimsical.
Okay,
Whimsical. Okay, uh, we have no translation for the word
sure.
whimsical in Spanish, so I cannot say. But from what I see, whimsical, at least for me, means naive.
Sure.
Means for me, my style is I do what I want to see.
Okay.
So, for instance,
That works. I love that.
my husband loves bird watching,
Okay.
and and although I love birds, not as much as he does. So the
Right.
kind of birds. Sorry, just 1 second. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, sorry. So this is the kind of birds
Okay,
that
she's showing us
I
something.
want to see.
I'm very excited. Oh my gosh. Okay. So these birds, they're more like illustrative birds. They're very, I guess, childlike, a little bit goofy. The colors aren't like realistic. They're like bright green, or they're just lines. Okay, stop. Stop. I gotta know. Okay, no. Go back. How can a beginner? Okay, I like the colored one, but I'm more intrigued by the line one. Can a beginner make that? Is that
Yes.
accessible to somebody like me? How did you
Yes.
make that?
Um, okay, this is the starting point. Well,
Okay.
I work a lot with the iPad. So
Yes.
I what I do. Okay, I ask my husband
Yes.
what. Okay, in order to. Okay, I said I want to draw birds,
Yes. I
and I
want to
said
draw a bird. Yeah.
and I said what do I need, to make something that looks like a bird? He said,
Yes.
you need
The
the
beak.
beak, the
Mm-hmm.
big eye,
Mm-hmm.
okay, some kind of form, the two,
Yep.
these,
Yeah. And
and
what we're looking at isn't
the
realism.
plumes,
So
and the plumes. So I
right.
thought, okay, so all I need is like a shape,
Yeah.
like an oval or an egg,
Yep.
and I can fill that with doodles.
I
So
love it. So you doodled inside the shapes, but you doodled on the long arm?
that's right. But I can also, I also doodle on the domestic sewing machine
Sure, sure.
because
So
this is small. So the trick for that is that you can fill this shape with anything you want. It
I
doesn't
feel
have to
like
be.
I feel like I could do this. And I don't know anything about anything in this quilting space other than Christina, the way that like my mom, like, cause she's like, the quilters that are like precision and precise and like they iron everything and like it's all math, right? So like my mom is so good and I just feel so incapable because look at the teacups.
So
Oh
look,
my gosh.
okay. So
Oh
this
my
is
gosh,
the
that's the
thing again.
cutest.
All right. I thought, okay, I want to do my own teapots and teacups. I want
Yes.
people to recognize that, but
It's
I want to fill that with my own doodles.
gotcha.
And
So
and
like
I
where
thought,
it's yellow, is that fabric where it's yellow or is it like kind of an
well,
embroidered
it's
stitch?
paint.
It's paint. I wasn't expecting that. That's awesome. Oh my God, Christina, I love it. I love it
So,
so
uh,
much.
so I tell my students that you don't have to do the same as me.
Right.
The trick for this is that
Yes.
once you have the shape, let's say
Yes.
the teapot, the teacups,
The
the
birds.
crazy birds,
Mm-hmm.
okay, fill them with your doodles. So that bird will be your bird, not mine.
So are we talking like Posca pen or are we talking like fabric paint? Like what
Um,
look at
okay,
I'm flabbergasted. What?
yeah.
How?
In this case, all right, I used fabric markers.
Fabric markers. Okay,
All
awesome.
right. In this case, I used um,
I just want them. I want these
inked
so bad.
Inktense pencils, and
Oh,
I set them with an iron and
yep.
fabric medium.
So fabric medium, ink tense, which that's something even I have. So that's amazing. So you would then say that this kind of whimsical quilting style is accessible to beginners with domestic machines.
Yes, that's
And if we
right.
can kind of come up with, and so you use your iPad to create the shape, and then how do you transfer it onto your quilt block?
Well, to be honest with you, okay, my favorite app on the iPad,
Yes.
the app that I use all the time to design is Procreate.
Yes.
Procreate is $12 for you,
Yes.
and it's forever. You
Yes.
don't have, it's not a subscription app.
Yes.
And what I do is that Procreate gives me the chance really to practice. And
Mhm.
then what I do is that I I print that out in full size,
Yes.
but I only print the contours
Sure.
of the. But in this case, okay, in this case, I want it to be precise,
Yeah.
so I transfer or I copied the contour of this
Mhm.
into the fabric. So I placed the paper below the
The
top
light.
fabric,
Okay.
and I
Mhm.
transferred that.
So
In
you
this
just
case,
traced on the top
that's
with
right.
like a heat erasable.
Yes, that's right. In
Yep.
this case, I challenge myself to not trace anything. So you can see that this is less precise, but
Yeah.
who cares?
I love it. I love it. I'm gonna totally try this. I mean, and like I was saying, I don't really have a whole lot of like I can make curtains, like I can do straight lines and I can like, you know, that's about it. But I am eager. Like I am eager to try. Like I really want to try.
Well,
So
you know what? Sorry. Um,
yeah.
I always encourage people to work small because let's say that I'm
Oh
not
yeah.
happy with this. It's not a big deal, really.
Right. No, it's a small risk, right?
it's not a big project that
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
has taken
mm-hmm.
you months and months. No. So
Right. So
work
start small.
small, and find your own style, really.
Well, I
So
have to tell you, Christina, some of my dear friends are in the comments, and they are saying, I need to learn this new craft. Like, these are amazing ideas because we've been working on fabric books. Question about like the stability of either the ink tints or the fabric paint. Can they be washed,
all
or do
right.
you kind of need to let them be?
All right. They are supposed to be, you're supposed to be able to wash that,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't really recommend it. So you
Right.
think, all right, so how do you keep that clean?
Right. You
What
don't
I
use it
do,
for a trivet.
I use a vacuum cleaner.
Oh, a vacuum cleaner. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
All
That'll
right.
do it. Well, that
So,
and too, it's kind of like, you can't wash a piece of art,
mm,
so let's not use it as a coffee trivet, right? Like, we
that's
want to
right.
hang it on the wall and keep it safe. So my friends in the comments are just as excited as I am. I can totally tell. So thank you
And
for all of
and
that.
wait, and
Oh, but
wait.
wait, there's
Okay.
more.
Okay. As far as whimsical quilting is concerned,
Yes.
okay, I also have other kinds of quilts
Okay.
like this.
Oh my God. This is just so awesome. Okay, so if you're listening, it's a black background and then there's like doodles and shapes, and it looks like we've got a combination of machine stitches, fabric. Is there paint on this one too?
No
Just
paint.
fabric and paint. Oh
So,
my
so, so,
God.
so just fabric and
Friends, if you're not seeing this, you have
quilting.
to see this. This is amazing. I love
So
the doodling. I love it so much. Our friends in the comments are like, this is whimsy. We love this kind of whimsy. This is
so
amazing.
so let me tell you.
They're
Let
they're like Dr. Susie. They're just awesome.
you see that.
Oh my gosh. Yes, it's
So
awesome.
let me tell you how I got started on this. It was we were in lockdown. We
Yeah.
couldn't go out. I was I was very stressed, and so I went through my stash, and
Yes.
these fabrics have been in my stash for years and years.
Yes.
I
Yes.
didn't know what to do with them, so I challenged myself
Yeah, you
to
did.
use the ugliest fabrics
Fabric. Yeah.
in my stash, and I challenged
Amazing.
myself to use them, and I thought, okay,
So
I'm not a landscaper, and I thought, why don't you do the
right, right. A
the kind
landscape.
of forests that
Mm-hmm.
you have in your mind?
Right.
So
The forest in your mind. Exactly. I totally get that.
so
So wait. So
and
did you
and then
applique? Did you applique those
that that
pieces?
that's right, that's right. This is
So
raw.
English paper piecing, or just straight on rough edge? Oh, rough edge. I love it. I can do rough edge.
You see
Okay.
that?
Yes,
So
it's
this
not
this is
perfect.
fussy cut.
Yes,
So
fussy
so I
cut.
fussy cut the
Yep.
fabrics, all right, and it's raw edge applique. And let me tell you
So
something.
awesome. Tell
Okay.
me, Christina. I'm a believer.
So
I'm like
I
a
don't.
big fan.
So I don't do the top and then I quilt that. I do the raw edge applique at the
Okay.
same time than the machine quilting.
Oh,
So instead of attaching this,
right.
and then do the machine quilting, I place all the shapes,
Mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm.
then I add the batting, the backing,
Oh,
and the
okay.
quilting is also the way to attach all these pieces. And so this is
And we can do that with a domestic
that's right,
machine.
that's right, that's
It
right.
doesn't have to be the long arm.
Hmm. And when my 24 years old son was a child, he loved uh, Bob, SpongeBob,
Yes.
SpongeBob. Okay,
Yes.
so I thought I want to, so I did this like a Bob Sponge
Right,
world.
right.
So you see that the whales are flying,
Of course they
and
are.
and you see that?
Yep. All the different colors and the textures at the
Yes.
bottom and the like whimsical doodles and
Mhm.
yes, totally. So, Christina, do you teach people how to do this?
Yes. Well, I teach both online and in person,
Okay.
and I'm teaching this on the long arm
Okay.
in Houston, um, in October
Yeah.
28th. And I'm teaching the
And that's a
birds.
quilt. Is that a quilt show in
Yes,
Houston? Yeah.
yes, Houston International Quilt Festival
Yeah.
on Monday, October 28th.
Okay.
And then I'm teaching the Quirky Birds online
Quirky birds. Yep.
in the second week of November. And
Okay.
so people need to go to quiltfest.com and look for my name and
I
the
will make
Quirky Birds.
sure we link this in our show notes and we'll make sure that everybody can find it. So, do you happen to have my favorite sitting in your stack there? The girl on the swing?
Um, I don't have that here really,
Okay, I love
but
that one.
I can show you. Okay. Um, yeah,
This
this
is
is
the
the
one like this. Go ahead. This is what like I became like a crazy fan when I saw this one.
okay. So, give me a few seconds.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. I have other things. Yeah, you go. I'll talk about something else. Go get it. It's amazing. Uh, can you all just believe, Christina? Like this is like I am so inspired because what I love about her style is that it's not necessarily perfect, which I definitely am not a perfect maker ever. And it is so fun. And like to me, Mom, if you're listening, I'm sorry. Quilting sometimes feels a little stuffy and rigid because of all of the math. Are you with me, friends? And so that doesn't really play to my strengths. Whereas this, like the whimsical bird and the quirky bird and the line bird, like I feel like I could do that. We need to make, a shape for the body, a beak, a plume, some feet. Like we can totally do this. We've got this. We can totally do it. So while Christina is running and looking for, I think she's got an example that is my favorite. I just want to tell you a little bit about what's going on here at Big Raven Farm. So it is definitely retreat season. We've got a retreat coming up July 25th, and it is a Make Your Own Projects retreat. And what that means is you get to pick from a list of my projects. And then when you're here, Thursday through Sunday, I will teach you how to make them. So we still have room in that retreat. It's called Pick Your Own Projects. It's Thursday through Sunday, July 25th. 26% through the 28th. So if you are in the neighborhood and you'd like to come and make some art with me, that one is still on the books. Also want to mention that in October, we have our Art for Self-Care retreat. This one sells out every year. So if you haven't registered yet, you probably want to go and get that done. I collaborate with my friend Molly Anthony. And at this retreat, we are doing 4 different techniques, not so much larger installation projects like decor for your home, but instead I will be teaching cyanotype prints. We will also be doing eco printing. So taking, eucalyptus and probably a heavy watercolor paper, maybe some vellum, and we cook it in a pot with some rusty bits and some vinegar, and then you get to see what you get. It's amazing. We're going to be doing jelly plate printing, and then we'll also be doing some things with watercolor. So lots of fun at that one. It's called Art for Self-Care, and that one is in October. I will make sure to link all of the things that you need to find all of these retreats happening at Big Raven Farm. And of course, my craft club has been amazing. And this month we are doing hanging pendants. And if you were to say, Joleen, did you stand at your bandsaw and cut hundreds and hundreds of books into half circles? Yes. Yes, I did. Because my craft club is making a pendant with those circles because it's a half circle. It's cut on the spine. And then when you open it up, it's a full circle. So it has been a big happy month of creating here. And if you're not familiar with my craft club, I'll link it in the show notes and all of that. But that's what I've been working on. So Cristina is back. All right, Cristina, what did you find while you had to quick run?
I'm sorry.
No, not at all. Stop it. Oh my gosh. Come closer, come closer. So it is a girl and she's swimming and it's monochromatic. And this is why you win awards, my friend. Like
Yes,
this
and
is amazing.
this wouldn't have been possible without Sveta Dorosheva's work. Okay, this is based on an illustration from the book from the Ukrainian artist based in Israel, Sveta Dorosheva, 22 Ways to Raise a Child.
Aww.
And she kindly gave me permission to use her illustration and to adapt it into a quilt.
Mind blowing. Like that's so amazing. Do you have that one hanging somewhere and you like went and ripped it off the wall to show me?
No.
Oh,
to be honest with you, I have my shawl quilts are in a closet because I'm afraid of ruining them with the light and
so they're like preserve, kind of in a more preserved state.
Yes, it's a pity, but I'm.
You want to let that one come and hang at my house? How about that? I'll give you my address, and that one from 22 Ways to Raise a Child can just come and hang at my house. That is incredible. I hope you are so like proud of this work. Like this is amazing. That's fabric and thread.
Well, when I discovered Sveta Dorosheva's work, I thought, well, this is okay. Sveta portraits children the way I see them. Mm-hmm. Children are curious. Children are like sponges, but mm-hmm. they are also they want to explore the world in their own way. And as soon as you tell a child not to do something, the next thing they do is they do it. So in her book, the children are naughty, are mischievous, are they
real,
play, they get dirty, and so I think that we can all relate to that girl, with that stripes, bat suit.
She's plugging her nose. She's jumping in the water. She's curious. She's mischievous. She's exploring. She's real. I'm going to have to make sure we will link this. It's a novel, correct? It's a book. We will link it in our show notes so people can find it. And you got permission from the illustrator author to make a piece inspired by that book, which is, I mean, it's thread and fabric. It's amazing. I love it so much. Yes. So you shared with me earlier that you have a need to create every day. You and I definitely have that in common. And so talk to me a little bit about like what that means to you. Like, what do you need to create?
I am a bit chaotic. So I carry the iPad with me, all the time. So I'm whenever I think about something, I use Procreate. But at the same time, I have, I don't know how many sketchbooks that I have started. And I have only 2 or 3 pages done.
Oh, sure. I do that too. Like I have empty sketchbooks. Yes.
And I have, I have a I don't know how many different markers I have in my stash and different brands of
Why wouldn't
pencils.
You have them all? Yes.
Like Faber-Castell, Prismacolor, Derwent.
Oh, yes.
And then I just heard you talking about jelly printing.
Yes. Isn't it the best? I love it.
I'm hooked.
I know. I love it. I love it so much. And again, what appeals to me about jelly plate printing is that there are no rules. It's messy, and you never know what you're going to get. And sometimes the only thing that holds me back from taking all the stuff out is you just need a big working area, right? To like have the papers that are drying, the ones that are in process. Like it just is kind of messy, and which I love, but my workshop is always a mess. So to get to it, I have to clean so that I can make a new mess. So, but I love it. I love it so much.
You know what? You only see a little bit. You should see this.
You do that, right? You say start small. Yeah?
No, I mean, but let me do something.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love it. Are we in your creative's den? Something to be proud of. I love it. We're getting like a full tour of like it's kind of like inside your mind.
You only see this, and it looks so tidy.
Yep, organized and tidy.
Weird.
Yes.
No,
I get that. I totally get that. I do the podcast now from this is my office, and my office is clean and tidy. But if we were down in my workshop, like no, it looks just like yours. So we have a lot in common that way too.
Yes.
Okay, so do you have a favorite project or medium or even a technique? Like, and it can just be favorite right now, because I know that like for me as an artist, my favorite things jump. Like I'm really into something and then I get into something else. So what are you really into right now? You have to pick just one.
There is something now that people don't want to talk about, but I'm crazy about artificial intelligence.
Okay.
So at night I go to Midjourney.
Yeah.
And I generate images, and what I do is that I edit those images that appeal to me
on
Procreate,
so cool.
And do things like this.
That is so cool. You continue to blow my mind. Okay, so let me recap what you just said. So you get it, you're a little nerdy. You get into the AI a little bit, and you are generating images, and you keep kind of giving the AI directions. Oh my God, she's so precious. And then you take the AI generated images over to Procreate, and then you create your sketches, and then you turn them into quilts. Cristina, oh my God. That's so awesome. That is incredible. I apologize if you're listening and you can't see this. You'll have to make sure you remind yourself to come back and take a look. That was, again, like everything else, quite.
So I've lost one that I've done. An old day lady with two cats. That's hilarious. Really, it's hilarious.
So, but you're teaching a class on the kooky birds, right?
Yes.
And that's an online class, and you'll be doing that in November.
That's right.
Folks can get a taste of this.
Yes.
And we'll make sure we'll link it so they know where to find you. But so you're into the AI and then taking that AI and turning it into art. That's just absolutely amazing.
Yes.
So, Cristina, where can our listeners find you? So like if they're like, I need more, I loved seeing you today on the Happy Time Craftcast, like where do they find you?
Right. They can find me on Instagram. So if you look for at Cristina Arcenegui Bono, they will find me.
I'll link it.
And they can also find me on my website that I will send you.
Yep, we'll link it. Mm-hmm.
On my outdated website.
Oh, it happens. It happens. We'll find you. We'll find you one way or another. No worries.
No, my outdated website.
Mm-hmm.
So they can find me there, really.
Okay. Awesome. And then, so I guess too, like, what would you say is a great first step for folks who would like to give this a try? You said start small.
That's right. I would say that draw
Okay.
Okay. This is the thing. I'm not a drawer. I have no art background.
Me either.
I have no sense of proportion
Or
or
scale. Mm-mm.
scale.
Do you play
Uh,
Pictionary? Do you have Pictionary in Spain? That game?
yes, yes, and I've tried,
So
but it
yeah,
didn't
like
work
you
with
would
me.
think, like people always think that I'm going to be the good Pictionary partner. I can't even draw a cat. Like I'm so bad. I'm so bad. I'm a great guesser, but I can't draw for beans either. Can't do it. So I hear you.
So I would say that forget about proportions,
Yes.
forget about trying to be precise,
Yes.
and start simple. So
Mm-hmm.
as I said, a bird. You know,
Yep.
I, I I've tried, but I really really cannot quilt, or I cannot draw a bird. So
Right.
think, okay, if you don't know what a bird, what
Mm-hmm.
elements you need, or for instance, a cat. Okay, a cat. You have the those
Ears.
ears.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you have the
Whiskers.
the whiskers,
Mm-hmm.
uh, the nose, a very very distinctive eyes.
Mm-hmm.
The mouse is like this. You have a tail, and you have the shape is more or less like this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, anything can do that. So
Right.
think about the triangle. That forget about trying to make or to draw a beautiful gorgeous cat.
Right. So
Think about
realism, we set that to the side and we
so
think more about shapes.
the thing is, go back to your high childhood where you
Mm-hmm.
had no you didn't try to do things
Right.
properly. You draw, you trace what you have in mind. So try that. No
Right.
one can do that better than you. Your
Mm-hmm.
cat, your dog, your house, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
No one is as good as you in your style. So as I said, well, as I said, I have cats, and I love cats.
Mm-hmm.
So I came to the conclusion that I'm not going to be able to do a beautiful cat, but
Right.
I'm working on quilting cats the way I see mine.
I love what you just said, and it bears repeating. You said nobody is as good at your style as you. I feel like I need to make that into like a t-shirt or a like like put
Well,
that on
this
my mug.
okay. Well, think about your signature.
Right.
Nobody is as good as you when as far as signing. This is why
Right.
it is so hard, really, to imitate a signature. Fortunately, so if you try to make a cat or a dog or
Mhm.
whatever, like this artist or that artist that are gorgeous, that are
Mhm.
great, don't try that.
Do
Okay,
you?
do yours.
Yeah.
Okay, you can learn from them. Let's say how to make a collage, how to do
Yeah.
this, how to do that. But at the end, do your own thing. You might think, yes, but this doesn't look like a cat. At the end, okay, it will look like a cat as long as as I said, you have
Right.
the
The
elements of
features, the elements, right.
a cat,
Right.
or the elements of a house or a dragon or a
Right.
and at the
S-
end, you know
mhm.
as I said, you will feel confident to quilt or to
Mhm.
to do that
Mhm.
because you draw that you drew drew you drew that yourself. I mean,
Right.
it is easier to machine quilt your own drawing than trying to quilt what someone else has drawn.
Understood. So to to say what you said again, so we can walk away with this nugget is start small
Yes,
and draw something, remembering the elements, the identifiers, right? I would say the identifiers of your bird or your cat or whatever you're going to do. And then with those identifiers, make it your own. And at
that's
the
right.
end, we're going to know that it's a cat or a bird or whatever it may be. But I love what you said earlier too about like the risk is really pretty small. if you stay small, like what are we out, right? We're out time and maybe a
It's
scrap piece of fabric. Like it's not a huge risk.
or again, if you, let's say that you want to do something with applique, go to
Mm-hmm.
your stash and you have plenty, and you think, if you are afraid of of using that beautiful fabric that you
Right.
bought,
Right.
don't wait for the perfect project,
Right.
because in 10 years time you will think, what was I thinking when I bought this
Right.
fabric?
It's kind of like the good
Use
dishes, right? Use the good dishes. Yes.
use the fabric,
Right. Use
because
the fabric.
use
Love it.
what you have, really. And also, okay, I must tell you something, because I
Yes.
love whimsical, I love vintage. i
Yes.
I adore vintage tales, and so I'm always looking for public domain
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
illustrations that
Mm-hmm.
so
Yep.
let me show you that there is a whole world about
Yes.
public domain illustrations that you can download them your
Yep.
computer. And what I do is that I use Procreate to create my own drawing,
Yep.
and then I quill that out.
That's amazing. So here, I mean, it's the internet. So my source for royalty-free public domain images would be the Library of Congress. And these are so incredible. And at the
So
Library of Congress, you can even search by subject and style. So if you want a photograph, if you want a book, it's an incredible resource. I'll be sure to link that in our show notes too,
so
because I don't
the
think I've ever talked about that.
so the New York Public Library is such a good
Yes.
resource. I went
Whoopsie. We lost her. Oh, she's back. Christine, I lost you for a second.
Okay,
Okay, we
so
got you back. We got you back.
all right. So I went to the New York Public Library two
Mm-hmm.
years ago, and I was able to see the stuffed animals from Winnie the Pooh, the
Oh,
originals. So
yes.
if you have the chance, yeah, and you
Right.
and you will be able to see a first edition of the Wizard of Oz, of
Right.
Red Riding Hood. So if you are into public domain tales and
Yeah.
things like that, go for it. Like,
That's
for
a great
instance,
suggestion. That's a great suggestion.
so again, this is based on a public domain illustration.
From Winnie the
All
Pooh.
right. No, no, this is not Winnie the Pooh. This is another tale. I don't remember which one.
Oh, I thought I
But
saw Winnie at the end there, but yeah, it's amazing.
no,
Looked like
no.
Christopher Robin a little bit.
So there is so much out there that is public domain, and
Mm-hmm. It's a
so
great
obviously,
suggestion.
so it's royalty free, but also, okay, I have no affiliation whatsoever. But you also have Dover,
Oh,
Dover
hover.
books that.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a whole um, project out there. I would say
Yes.
that draw, trace.
Okay.
You know, um,
Practice.
like, for instance, okay, before
She's
the
got so many
iPad,
ideas. Mm-hmm.
I used
A
to
whiteboard.
yes, all the time.
Okay.
So, but the thing about the iPad is that now I have I store things in my iPad, but also okay, what I do if I
I think she's coming back, friends. She's excited to show us something.
I'm sorry.
And
Oh,
that's okay.
okay.
So far today on the show, we've had a cat a couple of times,
and
and we've had a tour of the studio. And now, oh gosh, what is
so
this treasure?
I don't have a sketchbook, but
Okay.
I love doing this kind of things. Okay,
Doodling.
so doodling, you see
Mm-hmm.
that, and at the end, okay, although I try to do different things, I end up doodling quilting designs.
Right.
It's I'm helpless. So
Well, it's what you know and what you probably have quite a bit of muscle memory with, right?
so this is what I do, especially now in the summer.
Right.
This weekend I will go to my patio and I will do washes. I mean, I
Yep.
will be painting different cardboards. I mean, watercolor boards, and especially in the winter is when I
Mhm.
use those boards
It's
and
amazing.
do the doodling.
And this
Uh,
might be so is this what you would call maybe practice, like your
yes,
artistic practice, and it may or may not turn into a quilt, but it
that's
just
right.
keeps the creative juices flowing.
That's right. I think that we all need color in our lives.
Right.
So, depending on the mood, I might want, these colors, or maybe that day I want to go this way.
Sure, more monochromatic, right.
So, really, really, this watercolor thing really got me hooked.
Yeah, I
So,
can see that. Well,
yeah,
thank you for the tour of, it's really the tour of your process and, how you find inspiration and how you, I guess, I mean, for those of us who, I think my question a while back was, the need to create every day. And I definitely feel that. I get a little bit itchy or crabby if I haven't been working with my hands. And the project that I would like to share today and have our listeners try is I've been working on more and more uses for our book silo. So the silo is a paper fold where we are just taking each piece of paper and we're folding it in half. And so it ends up, so this is a book, this is a paperback book, and I have folded it. And then I took paper clips and I attached the paper clips in the same location throughout the pages to make like this drum. So, what I've been working on is I've been working on different uses for a pretty common practice of mine, which is making the silo. So, if you have been making silos, friends, this is one of my ideas. And just imagine how it would change if we used color paper clips
okay.
instead of just black, or if we kept going further down the page. Mhm.
Sorry, can I ask you, if you don't mind,
Yes.
what you say, silo?
So it's a paper fold, right? And it's just a way to describe the finished result. So it's just a folded book, and each piece of paper is just folded in half. But some people call them a log or a drum. I call them a silo because I have silos here on my farm. So it just represents the shape. So this is the shape.
I
It's
love
a
it.
silo, right? But my idea and what I'd like to challenge my listeners to think about is what can we do to the exterior of these pages so that our outcome changes? And like I said, I achieved this with just black paper clips and creating a pattern in the side of the pages. When you don't do that, or actually another option is what happens if we fold an illustrated book. So this is an illustrated book, and I did the same process of creating a silo, taking each piece of paper and folding it in half and making it a crease. And just look at how interesting it has become because it was an illustrated children's book. So, on each of my episodes, I like to ask folks or share with folks what I'm working on. And this is what I've been working on are different ways to either enhance or modify or come up with more creative options for our tried and trusty silo, which is one of my favorite book folding shapes. So that's what I've been
I
working
love it. I
on. Thank
love
you.
it.
Thank you so
I
much.
love it.
Well, Christina, we are almost, I don't know if you'll believe this, but we're almost out of time. And but before I let you go, I just want to say thank you so much for making the time zones work, and thank you for being here. This has like been so much fun, and I'm so
Thank you.
inspired. I'm so inspired by like the magic of your creativity, and I'm really grateful that we had a chance to talk about all this.
And you have inspired me a lot as
Oh,
well. A lot.
oh, thank you so much. But before I let you go, I have to ask you these questions. So, what is your favorite word?
chocolate.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Oh, we've never had that as a response, and I totally agree. Oh my gosh. May I ask specifically what kind of chocolate? Does it matter?
Black chocolate.
Oh, nice. Nice. Okay, okay. What's your least favorite word? Oops.
Hot. I mean, heat.
Heat. Yes, yes. As you said, boiling today, right?
Boy,
What is the best kind of sandwich?
a grilled ham and cheese sandwich. I love it. I love
Yes.
it.
So tonight we're having BLTs. Do you have those? So bacon,
What?
lettuce, and tomato.
Oh, okay.
So that's what
No.
we're having for supper tonight. So we're having bacon, lettuce, tomato, and then we're also put a little avocado on there. So I usually say ice cream sandwich, but in the summer, I'm going to say this BLT is my favorite. What does being an artist mean to you?
Mm, I would say to justify. I mean, it's the way to justify this chaotic life.
Right?
I mean,
It justifies chaos. No, I get that. I get that. That makes sense. It just is a state of being.
she's an
Absolutely right with that
artist.
one.
She's
Right.
a.
What sound or noise do you love?
There is a river in our town, and I
Yeah.
love the sound of the water.
Yeah.
Shh.
Right.
Yeah, and
So have you ever heard people say that like we are all either water, wind, fire, or I can't remember what the other one is. So are you like a water person, would you say?
yes, yes,
Yeah, me too.
absolutely.
I'm definitely water, borderline fire. um,
So,
what's
do you know what I'm going to do when we finish?
what?
I'm going to the swimming pool.
Oh, because you're boiling and it's 105 degrees. I totally get that. So, what sound or noise do you hate?
Oh, the construction work, like
Mhm.
I hate it. I hate
Construction.
it.
Hmm.
Yes.
So, this one changes for me, and this is specifically directed to one of my children, and they'll know who they are. I have four. I cannot stand the sound of the texting bubble on their phone. That yeah, yeah, whatever that sound is, like I hate that sound so much. They know who they are. I only tell them every time they do it that they are going to like take my last possible nerve. Okay,
Yes, I
what
hate it.
what profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Well, as a matter of fact, I am um, um, a draft woman. I'm also a travel agent,
Oh, right.
and I'm also I studied libraries and
Oh,
documentation in college. So
wow. So would you like to attempt that more, or are you happy
uh,
staying right where you are?
uh, I am a bookworm, so I
Oh,
would be
me
more
too.
than happy working in a library.
Right, right. Have you gotten into audiobooks?
Audible.
Yeah,
I because I work on the long arm.
me too.
Um,
Yeah,
um, I spend all day listening, working and
me
listening
too.
to podcasts and radio. I love history podcasts,
Mm-hmm.
and I love all that. And Audible, yes,
Mm-hmm, me
absolutely.
too. I am doing a reading challenge, and reading I'm listening, but through Goodreads. And for the year, I thought, maybe I'll finish like 60 books. And it's July, and I've already finished 48. So I go through content like you do because I'm always working. And if I don't have a book going, I just miss it. I really, really love it. So do you have a favorite book right now, or one that you've recently finished?
Well, um, I'm listening at the moment. I'm listening to a book on Audible, but it's a Spanish book, so
Oh, okay.
it hasn't been translated really. So
Right. It hasn't
it's
been translated.
it's I love history books,
Hmm,
so
hmm, hmm.
I'm listening to
Yeah,
to
me
his
too. I am right now doing cutting for stone. He also did the Covenant of Water. Very good. Very, very, very good. So, what profession would you not like to do? I'm not going to do anything smelly, hot or smelly. I'm not doing that.
Nothing outside.
Right? Especially when you're boiling at like 105 degrees Fahrenheit. So,
No,
totally understood. Totally understood.
I'm not an outdoor person. Although I love the nature. Listen, I love New England, and I was there
Yeah.
2 months ago, and New England is gorgeous.
Mhm.
Vermont, New Hampshire, those sceneries are beautiful. But I wouldn't like to work outside.
Right.
That's
You'd
different.
like to
That's different.
visit. Right. I
No,
hear
no,
you.
I would love to live there,
Oh.
but not work, not
Oh.
having to work, something that you have to be outside. No,
Outside.
no,
Okay.
no,
I understand. I
no, no,
understand.
no.
Um, and finally, here's my last question. What brings you the most happiness?
Um, um, uh, so, Being with my cousins, and
Mm-hmm.
be, being with friends,
Mm-hmm.
and cousins, and celebrating something.
Oh, that's
Like
awesome.
you know
I
um,
I agree with you. I think for me, it's like, of course, being with my family, or when my family is all engaged and happy, or I love watching my kids laugh with each other, or play games, and they don't know that I'm really watching. They might know that I'm watching, but it doesn't really matter. But I'm not involved in it. Like, I like being an observer of that. And then after that, after all the family stuff, I would say I am the happiest when I am madly creating, like almost the chaos that you talk about, where I don't exactly know where I'm going to land, but I'm pretty excited in figuring out like how I'm going to get there. And I think that, now that I finally identify as an artist, because I never did, not for the longest time, because I can't do anything literally, right? I can't draw a cat. I'm not a good Pictionary partner. Like, I did not know that I could identify as an artist until later in life. And now it's kind of all I identify as, because I just have so much passion, and I find such great happiness in working with my hands, and also talking with people like you who get it. So,
I, I'm listening to you, and I'm thinking, yes, 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 yes,
right?
yes.
Right? Like, we are a whole culture of people who are like, yes, that totally makes sense. I totally understand. So,
Absolutely,
well,
absolutely.
Cristina, thank you so much. This has been so, so much fun. And for those of you listening and watching, I will make sure that we link everything that we talked about. And I hope you will join me on our next podcast, which is July 24th. And we are going to be talking to Michelle Sailors and Linda Williams. And that's July 24th. And they dye fiber.
Can,
So that's going
so,
to be awesome.
sorry, can I say something?
Yes.
Okay. In Spain, we celebrate our name day.
Oh, yeah.
So July 24th is my name day.
Oh, well, we'll be thinking
so
of you that.
so in our name day, we receive
Yes.
presents from family and friends,
Oh,
and they call you, and it's a
it's
celebration
a big
day.
thing. I love that. I love that. Well, we'll be thinking of you on the 24th, Cristina. So,
Okay.
again, everyone, thank you so, so, so much for being a part of the Happy Time Craftcast. And I will see you on July 24th. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks.